Well, hi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me in my shop. Today is July 14th. We have heat warnings. Our government is, the Weather Service is giving us heat warnings for today, which here means, in this case, 30 degrees or a little above. That's not an uncommon temperature here. 35 would be unusually hot here. 30 is pretty uncomfortable. This area, maybe it's surprising, can be very, very humid. And you mix the humidity with the high temperature and become very, very uncomfortable. So I got a late start this morning because I went outside and did my outdoor stuff right away, so I wouldn't have to go out there when it was hot. Now, strings. It's the bane of radio repair, is dealing with strings. So I think I have the situation set up so it should be pretty straightforward to sort this out. And what I'm thinking is I simply put everything in one limit, either this end of the band or that end of the band, just move everything to its limit and then fix it that way. We do have the pointer hanging on the string, and this seemed like a good spot for it at the time, but maybe not. What we'll do is we're going to let's this isn't going to do anything anymore. Okay. Oh boy, it didn't take long. Bird, where were you? Maybe we need to go the other way. Would the other way be better? How would it be better? Okay, looks like a cat stepped on my keyboard and shut down the video I was shooting. So the last bit, the last bit didn't come through. What's going on? Okay. Apparently there's not a lot coming through in my head right now. So here's what I figured out, and because I'm going to have to repeat this now. I'm going to put the capacitor in an extreme position. In this case, it's at the right-hand side of the dial. So it's at the high end of the dial. It's all the way over. The string control wheel, this big one, is all the way over also. There's a limit, so it's right at the limit. This pointer material looks original to me, and it probably is, and this is probably where the pointer should be on the string. So that would be the correct situation. All I got to do is just get this spring attached now in this position, and I think we're golden. So to do that, I might be able to do it just like this. Can I just get this out of the way a little bit? A little bit. Yes, I can. That's about the end of the road there for it. Okie doke. So down here is an opening in the chassis, and then there's a piece of, feels like cardboard, that's been put in to cover it. So they probably cut this out to allow for the speaker, and then maybe ultimately didn't need it because they changed the speaker or something like that, and so they've had to do something to cover this back in. That's my story. I'm making that up. I don't know what they did. Okay, so all we got to do is just pull this spring down and attach it. It's really pretty simple situation here. Well, let's see if I can do it. I think I'm going to try with a pair of regular pliers first. These are a little big. I'm going to grab the end, pull it down, and get it on that clip there. You can hear my cats, they're wrestling in the background. I don't think the pliers are going to do it. I think they're too big. In my pusher puller tool. Where are you? Here it is. They're wrestling with a box. While I'm doing this, I'm trying to make sure the capacitor's not moving. Nothing's moving. Voila! Now, is this really right? Let's see what happens here. That's not a good sign. It's just not go anywhere. What's going on here? This shaft is turning under this. What's happening there? Okay, let's take a closer look at the situation here. Because there's something I've never seen before happening. It looks like it's mechanically a little bit sort of special arrangement here. Okay, let's flip to that camera. Now the autofocus will be on, so if we're lucky it'll focus correctly. Yeah, I'm going to take a moment here and turn off the autofocus because it's liable to activate right at the wrong moment, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, there we are. Now, turning the knob at the front. The front. This is the front. This is the going into the. This is going into a cardboard box. Okay, a little odd. What's going on there? I don't know. So, going back to the problem now, I'm turning the knob, trying to tune the radio. But, I mean, it's just... What has happened here? Well, this is hitting a limit. What's limiting this? Just so you know what I'm doing. So something in the cardboard box. There's something going on in the cardboard box. Let me turn this a long ways the other way. Oh! Oh, for crying out loud. This is the volume control. Yes, some of you are probably yelling at, Jim, that's the volume control. That's why it's going into a box. There's a volume control inside there. Okay, wait a minute now. So, wait a minute, that can't be the tuning. Oh, the tuning is the bigger knob. Oh, duh, how stupid can I be? Uh-oh, phone's ringing now. Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, that's the thing about doing these live videos. Well, embarrassing things happen, like getting the knobs mixed up. So I'm turning the tuning knob now, not the volume control knob. And, of course, it's working. I'm going to put this back against the limit. Okay, the capacitor is at its limit. Yep. And I'm going to switch back to the other camera now. Okay, so theoretically, this has been fixed. Let's see if it's true now that I know how to tune it. And We're going to take this off. I'm sure it's not in the right spot anyway. Pretend this is the pointer here. So that's one limit. Tuning, watching the capacitor move. Everything's moving. Everything's going. So what could have happened here is somebody got things mucked up somehow and ended up aligning the radio in an incorrect pointer position on it, and that would not align well necessarily. Could end up pretty poor job. How slippery this is, really quite. The string going up and down here. All seems well. Very good. So the next thing here to do, we're going to put the pointer on basically where it was, where I think the factory installation was done. What's going on here? This goes like this, this goes like this. Shut it back on. This is probably going to turn out to be pretty much correct. Is it worth operating the radio at this point? I don't think so offhand. I think the next thing to do, and I started very late today, we could check the IF alignment on this radio. At the very least I can check it, and once you get to the point where you're checking it, you're just a fraction away from adjusting it too. Let's see here. So there's one IF can here, there's another one there. They have slots, which means you got to go up underneath. I'm not going to flip it right now. We're going to check the IF frequency, what it's actually tuned to or aligned at. See, my cats have become very, very quiet now. I'm worried. What are they up to? What are those guys doing? They're probably sleeping. That's probably what they're doing. Thank God, cats sleep a lot. If they didn't, oh my gosh. Wow, I'd be crazy. Okay, what am I trying to do? So I'm going to try to pass a signal into the radio at 455 kilohertz, or in that area. I assume that's the IF for this radio. Oh, you know what? I don't even know that. It might be 460 or something like that. Here, I'm going to ram it into the antenna connection. This is not necessarily the best way to do this, but it's a way to do it. Okay, we're going to set this to 455 or so. It's got a moderate signal, modulated so we can hear it. Well, let me calibrate this. Let me just calibrate this quickly here. Oop, wrong control. I think if I can hear it, you can hear it. So you're probably hearing my cat hollering there. Okay, so that's calibrated properly. 30% modulation, 1000 hertz. Now we're going to turn, I'm just doing this by ear also. Kind of a rush job, you might think of it that way. And plug it in. There we go. Okay. So many screwdrivers. Okay. I think we're ready. So, I should really put the volume knob on. I won't though. Turn down the volume. Doesn't matter where the radio's tuned for this test, although if it may pick up some radio signals in the midst of this. Here we go. You ready? I'm ready. Is it ready? Everybody ready? Okay, you can hear it. So what we should be hearing right now is a 1000 hertz tone if the radio's IF is tuned to 458. tune around now. This is a weak signal. Maybe it's not enough. Let's see. I don't think it's enough. Huh. It's a big signal. Oh, can't be down there, can it? Holy smokes, it's a miles off. This could be what the radio's tuned to right now. We'll tune the radio and we'll see what happens here. Yeah. So this, we're just picking this up like any radio signal. Wow. It's way off. Holy smokes, it's way off. No wonder it's a weak radio. We can fix this right away. Or we can probably improve this. Let's improve. Let's do something here. First, second. We'll do the second one. Metal tool, danger. Okay, so see, I have this set to 411. I'm tuning the radio to 411. We don't want it there. It's a little more involved process. Okay, so before doing this, I might as well do this for real. Before doing it, I've got to get the service information for this radio and just verify what I'm doing, verify the proper IF frequency and the like. But wow, probably what's happened to this radio is somebody has fiddled with the adjustments here, and this is the result. It's my guess. I don't know how else it gets this far off. This is way off. Okay, I gotta get some information here. Okay, let's go through the manual here. The first interesting thing is that this is called the Hallicrafters Worldwide, and there's a couple of versions, or 3 versions of the radio. Worldwide, but they're called TW Trans World. But that Trans World thing, I think that's an RCA name or something like that. But it's just interesting that it's a TW, but they call it a Worldwide. And something funny. There's a story behind that. I don't know what it is. Here we are. And this is something worth reading right here. Tuning dial. To tune bands 1 through 7, set the band selector knob so the red band indicator at the left side of the dial is opposite the desired band. To tune the long wave band, rotate the band selector knob fully clockwise so that the yellow band indicators become visible at the left side of the dial. Now, why have they done that? I don't know. That's a very strange thing. So you have the dial indicators indicating which one of these bands you're working on, but if it's a long wave band, you get a yellow indicator all the way up and down. Why do they do that? There's got to be some reason. I don't really care though. Okay, moving along, remove the tuner. All these instructions maybe I should have read. Snap in coil strips. So I'm just looking through the manual now to see what's in the manual, not to read it, but just to see what kind of stuff is in it. Here we have first IF, second IF. I need to know that because I need to start with the second IF, and I thought this would be the second, but actually it does make sense because the tuning's here, and generally the signal flow is going to be this way through the radio. So first, second. These are dummy antennas here. What are these? Capacitors. 2 whip antenna socket. 2 whip antenna. Well, what about those antenna connections on the back? These ones here, external antenna and ground terminals. Whoa. Whip antenna socket. Well, maybe when we look at the schematic we might be able to see that. There's some difference between the two of them. Probably doesn't amount to much though. Alignment instructions, there we are. I was looking for that. 455 kilocycles. So that is the IF. That's the most common IF frequency in radios. just looking very quickly to see if there's anything really bizarre about this. Removing tuner from chassis. To adjust oscillator slugs, it will be necessary to first remove the baffle board and dial assemblies. What are they talking about? Baffle board. Something to do with it there. Well, I won't worry too much about it. Again, I'm just looking to see what's in here. Here's the actual alignment procedure that I'll be following. Pretty extensive. And I'm doing this right now. This step 1 is what I'm aiming to do. Band selector 7. C-voter dial setting 1000. So band setting 7. What is that band? That band is, I don't know. I can't see what it is. I bet you that's the broadcast band, because look what they're saying. That's the middle of the broadcast band. So dial in the middle. Then we go down here. E oscillator trimmer on gang. So this is, we're into a whole different type of alignment down here. So this first stage is just the IF alignment, and this is what I want to do today. So high side through point 1 to the stator plates of the center section of the tuning gang. Low sides of the chassis. So here they're showing you a way to inject this signal deeper into the radio than what I'm doing. It's very convenient though, because it's just on the stator here. Center section. Stator plates of center section. Okay, we're going to do that. Oh, let's just go through the rest of the manual here. Stick loop antenna used only on the TW2000 and the 1000A. The loop antenna concealed in the front cover. Parts layout, parts list, stringing diagram. Even though this is here, it probably wouldn't have helped me much to look at it for what was wrong with the radio. Oh, more stringing diagrams. Here's a schematic. Oh wow, let's see if there's no too many schematics here, and that's the last page. So this is sets with that tuner for the 2000, so that the 2000 Mark 1B. How many versions of this thing are there? Let's zoom in a little bit. We'll just look at the antenna. Well, that's not zooming, Jim. That's turning it upside down. Let us zoom in here. Zoom, 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 zoom. And we'll go over. Look at the antenna. Stick antenna. Loop antenna. Skyrider antenna. Ooh, there's 3 of them here. How come there's 3? So stick antenna, this must be the whip. This does not, I don't know what this is. L1, stick antenna. I don't know what they're talking about here. Now there's a whip antenna. Here's the whip antenna. I don't know, it's too complicated to figure out just right off the top of my head here. But in any case, what's the difference? If we go here, like if we hook up, this is what they're saying, hook up here. We go to 7. Oh my gosh. Yikes. We go to 7. Okay, and if we come in on the other, using the other antenna, where's the screws? Here's the screws. So this is quite different. So A goes to 10, will be, and this goes down to ground. So that's just like it says. So this is going somewhere different than this. That's about all I can say right now. Okay, is there anything else we need to look at here at this point? Just looking down, yeah, that's the end of the book, the end of the manual here. Let me shrink this. Very complicated arrangement through the 2 heaters. Very, very complicated circuitry here. Unlike a lot of radios, this is the simplest thing going in most radios, but here it's very, very complicated. Okay, that's enough looking. Oh, some notes. You better read these notes. That would be a good idea. Sometimes there's secret information in the notes. resistors, half watt, intermediate frequency right there, 455, a tone switch, power changeover switch, line switch. All voltages measured with a VTVM between tube socket terminals and B minus. B minus. So we see they have chassis indications and they have ground indications. This chassis here, but all the rest are showing ground type indications. So this is probably the B minus line. In here, all these indicators are actually B minus, I would say. And then we have just this coming out to the chassis. Where to go? Where to go? I saw it here. So there, this one. That's the only connection to the chassis, along with some antenna stuff out here. Voltage measurement and broadcast management antenna. Some sets C11 when making replacement use a 270. On some sets, the lead connecting from pin so and so instead of the pin 7. What? Some sets. Is that a mistake they're describing there? I don't know. Ooh, what's this bold print here? Value and tolerance is shown, normal and variable. Okay. That's what we're going to get out of this. We're going to get out of this 455 kilohertz and the position of the two IF cans. Who's first, who's second? We're good. Good to go. The next step is to see about which tool to use, and are the slugs loose in the inside those cans. So the one can is here. Go underneath. So it's settled in. That's perfect. Now can we move it? Just want to move it a bit. Yes. Yeah, it moves. Good. These tools are lousy for doing this because the slug sticks a bit. So it holds this, and then you can turn the handle and put a stress in here. And so it's a spring load, and then finally you push enough, this thing will jump. You'll never get it to settle in the spot you want because it's just too flimsy. So this one's a lot stiffer, but I think it's way too big. Yeah, I can't even get in there. So we're going to have to put up with that. I have two like this, but I'll try this one. We'll see what happens. That's why I'm checking to see if the slug is loose enough. The other IF can, where are you? So is this the one I checked? I can't remember. I don't think I can get it. There, I'm in. There. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay. On the top. The radio's not on, by the way, while I'm doing this. Okay, we're in. Yeah. Okay, we're good to go. Now, let's turn on the radio. Is everything okay? Radio on. Oh, hear the tone because we're at 411. So what I want to do, if I dial this up to 455, we won't hear it anymore. It's too far away. So I'm going to dial this on the way to 455 and jack up the strength. This is a lot of strength I'm feeding right now, actually. We're going to jack it up. So we're going to go up. Let me turn the volume up too. That'll all help. Everything will help. I want to be able to hear it. Wow. So I know that I'm going in the right direction and the like. So any one of these, any starting point, who cares? Doesn't matter. Wow, just doing this by ear. This is not going to work well. You hear it? Very, very faint. That's the idea. Very faint. Okay. I can go right past, in fact, a little bit. Same thing with this one. Now go on the top. past a little bit. You can see how much stronger the radio's gotten already. In fact, it's picking up a lot of signal here. So their suggestion was the signal be fed into this terminal here, but I think we're doing fine. Let's just snap this up. Turn down the volume. That would be a good idea. That would be a good idea. Yeah, that's much better. I like that. Okay. Hard to hear. What happened? I think I blew it. I'm going to need to put a meter on this soon and measure this effect. Something becoming microphonic in the radio. You can see the improvement I'm getting every time. Wow. Sharp. If I put this to 455 and then try to tune these four things up there, I'll never find it. I've got to slowly crawl my way up there. Not much response from that. Lots from this. And I'm going right by on purpose. Because I know I'm going higher. This doesn't make much difference. Half the time this screwdriver is not engaged, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. There we are, I'm engaged now. Not a very distinct peak. Huh. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's go up here. Just wow. How far can you turn this slug? Things are becoming more and more microphonic. Somebody's microphonic. Not much difference there. Don't know why. That's why you need a meter in the end. Yeah, I can't perceive any difference there. We'll just keep going. I got maybe we're doing the primary side and the secondaries aren't making much difference. We're nowhere near 455 yet. Wow. I'm getting a weird feeling here. Where'd it go? Feeling that this is not working out the way it should. I think I'm driving these slugs right to their limit here. Hear that sound? That's a scary sound. So I've driven this slug, I've probably driven it up into the top slug. Let me loosen the top slug off. Something not right about this. just in case I bang the slugs together. Come on, man. Back off. Jeepers. The problem is you have to push hard to keep this engaged in the slot, but at the same time you're trying to screw the slug out. So you're pushing in, but you're trying to screw it out, and the result is it kind of locks up, and then this thing just cams out. I can't imagine that's going to be any better. I might have to put a metal. I could use a metal screwdriver like this. The metal may disturb the tuning, but the real problem is the sharp corners here. And you get in the slot, and you turn this a little bit, all the pressure occurs on a sharp corner. Let me show you this with a bigger blade. Okay, right, you've got the slot, you're putting the screwdriver in. Now the slot doesn't fit tight, or the screwdriver doesn't fit tight because the slot is usually open a bit. So you have a little bit of play. With a plastic tool, the sharp edge, wow. But with a metal tool, instead of it, doing this, you're driving this corner into it, and these things that are in the slugs that are inside here, they're often not metal, and they're fragile, and you're putting a tension type force onto it. And the reason I'm dwelling on this is because what this can lead to is cracking the slug. When you crack the slug, you're in really big trouble with these radios at that point. So that's why you want to be very careful if you're going to use one of these, for sure. And in the case here where the slug appears to be kind of stuck, it's attractive to grab that metal one and get away from all this flexible stuff. But you run the risk of breaking the slug. This is exactly the slug smashing situation here. Slug fracturing, rather. So, and this is another example of why you should not work on these radios, because the more you work, the more trouble you can get into. So I cannot move the slug at all with. Do I have to move the slug? I'm reading this tool. Do I have to move the slug out? Because I'm going to go very gently with this. Wow, it's really jammed in there. Wow. Use a bigger screwdriver here. On the basis that the wider the blade, the less the stress. Nope, I'm not going to do it with that one. Or this one. Oh yeah. Okay, it's in there. Don't break. Doesn't feel good at all. Right. This is another fine mess I've gotten myself into here. If the slug is stuck in that spot and it's not going anywhere, I'm not saying that's the case, but if that is what's happened here, it's going to end up being where it is, then that sets the IF tuning frequency. I got to match everything to that. And if the IF tuning frequency is not 455, if it's 440 or something of that sort, that causes problems with the accuracy of the dial and tracking across the band and all kinds of stuff. You really do want to get this where the engineers designed it to be. I'm just trying to picture in my mind all the things that could be happening inside this little tube. I mean, there's not a lot that can be happening. I drive it up past the threaded part, but see, I don't think there is such a situation. I think there's two slugs inside here, and I'm working one from the top and one from the bottom. I'm moving them up and down like this. But I think what may have happened is I drove the bottom one all the way up into contact with the top one, and it kind of locked in there. So I got on the top one, I backed it up like this, but that did not loosen the bottom one. And it seems so high, like it's driven up so high, it doesn't seem, let's compare. Okay, so I can't put my finger down there, some high voltage down there. Well, pretty similar, actually. And the radios seem to be very sensitive to tuning the bottom slugs. Well, let's see. Let's see what a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee might help right now. Coffee. Well, the coffee cup did not come through with any better ideas here, like spray-in lubrication. I don't think so. Apply heat? No, there's no way to apply heat to this. Continue trying to loosen it. I just get more aggressive slowly, praying that it comes loose before it breaks. Or is it broken already? I don't think so. I don't think it's broken already. We'll start with the gentler tool here. Again, just try again. Definitely something's microphonic in here. I just realized I didn't wash my hands when I went for my coffee break. Oh, no. So the thing about this is to keep this in the slot, you got to push pretty hard. And then I explained the counter effect of that. Is it this one that can go in there? No, it's this one. Just go in. How about this? Yeah, there we go. I haven't put any pressure on, I'm just feeling it. I don't know, boy. Yeah, it's just locked in there, and I'm so scared to put more pressure on it. Shoot. Now, why did I drive it up so high, assuming that's what's happened? I've driven it up stupidly high, chasing that frequency. That shouldn't really happen. I mean, I should be chasing that frequency, and the slug should be going into a natural, decent, engineered position. It shouldn't be up near the top or coming out the bottom. How do I know it really is driven up to the top? Because it's stuck. What's it stuck in? Wax? There's some wax in there, but I wouldn't think the wax could grip it that hard. Shoot. Shoot me. Somebody shoot me. Oh, this shouldn't be on the floor. Great big sewing needle sitting on the floor there, waiting for my foot. Oh. What's the best situation we can get into now? Get this as high as we possibly can. I'm trying to pull it back because it's stuck, and I think pulling it back is a good idea. But I wanted to go forward further yet to meet that, but it can't go forward. It wouldn't go forward. Something weird is going on here. Let's assume 429 is 427. It's just way off from 455. So what I'm going to do, turn this down. I'm going to peak the IF at this frequency, and then we're going to move on. This will allow the radio to operate much better than it did. We'll find out if there's other problems in this radio. It doesn't appear to be at this point. And then later I'll figure out how to deal with this and get it to 455. How? I don't know. That's how. I don't know now, but I'll know then. So we just want to peak this stuff up. Get in there. There, we're in the slot. Again, no reason to put a meter on this because it's just... Well, this one doesn't want to move. These small variations would be easy to see on a meter. I think it's getting quieter. What happened to the sharp peak that was on these things? Oh, I got some bad feelings here. Bad feelings. There we are. None of these slugs want to move easily now. What happened? Something weird going on here. Something weird is going on. Okay. So if the IF frequency is off, you can compensate by keeping the local oscillator in an inappropriate or a compensatory setting on the local oscillator, and you can kind of get the radio to work and kind of get the dial accurate. But let's just see how well this radio is working. I don't usually like to do this kind of thing, and I gotta go wash my hands too. What I mean is move the radio while it's operating. I don't like doing that. Go down. I'm gonna go wash my hands here. Yeah. Okay, let's give the radio just to try as a radio. I'm gonna take off this. The antenna will be this guy here, all by himself. This booster is around, but I've got it out of the way here, a couple feet away. Oh, what band are we on? Good question. How do you know what band you're on when you don't have the dial on the front? I want this one to come in the window. So this is as far as it goes. The yellow should be showing. That would be the bottom band, and the bottom band is what? Here we are. The right one. Okay. This is the broadcast band. Now, just relying on the antenna itself, what do we get? Do we get anything? Most of the stations would be down around here. Anybody? Get a pretty good hum out of this radio. Doesn't want to pick anybody up with its own antenna. Let's put the booster on. If you tune it or a station in and the hum comes in when you tune it in, That suggests, especially in a radio like this, where it has no cathodes in the tubes, that one of those tubes is generating that hum. It's called intermodulation hum. That's how they label it. And it might be in the front end of the radio. That's where that hum comes from. On the other hand, could be something right here that I'm tuning in a hum. Yeah, see, I think I'm tuning in a hum. Okay, we can't have any music. Whoa, here? And here again?
Lots ahead on the 60s, 7, 80s at 8, 90s at 9. For everything going for now, you be careful.
Les douaniers américains entre et ils préparent des représailles qui pourraient atteindre 72 milliards.
There it is again. The French station is underneath this one. The radio is picking stations up in two places. Good job, Jim. Two stations on top of each other.
If you want to go see that show.
Here and here. Okay, well that says something about what's going on. What does it say? There's two local oscillator frequencies going. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to explain that. Okay, that's great. I'm done for today here. That's enough headache. I just feel like the hole's getting deeper and deeper as I continue to play around here. Solved the pointer problem, I'm pretty sure, and the string problem. I think that's out of the way. Now we're on to bigger problems. A stuck slug in an IF can, and how come the radio picks up? This station's in two places. How can that possibly be? I'll spend my day thinking about that. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll just carry on tomorrow. Maybe I'll think of something in the meantime. See ya.